price of gas has gone up.
Yeah, the great thing about electric fuel is that the price is regulated. It's predictable, it's planned, you don't get the volatility.
This is basically fuel for free.
What is really important is there's a huge used EV market now. There are a lot of vehicles coming off lease and they're now coming into the used market. So there are really affordable EVs that are good quality products. Right now, we've only got about 2% of the entire Canadian fleet is electric. So we're still at the tiny end of the market. This new industry needs nurturing and supporting because it's going to be a significant part of the economy as our transport gets electrified.
So with my friend Nina Dakar, we're at the 2026 EV and Charging Expo. This is now the 4th annual.
Yeah.
And somehow at the beginning of the first one, we did some little walk around down the aisle, and it's become an annual tradition that I frankly look forward to.
Likewise.
So, and we have a chance to, sometimes we talk about what's in the aisle or just what's happening. And we had a bit of a newsy thing happen. A couple of newsy things have happened just in conjunction with the EV and Charging Expo over the last couple of days. So we could maybe talk about that.
Yeah.
Can't do a walkabout if we don't walk. So
yeah,
why don't we walk?
Let's go.
Certainly what's in the news.
Yeah.
And if it's not in the news, it's at every corner. The price of gas has once again, let's hope it's not permanent. I don't want things to be bad for people, and I don't love war, but the price of gas has gone up.
Yeah.
Do you think that's getting people's attention in terms of EVs? And we're talking EVs, we're talking about cars and trucks and what have you.
Yeah, I mean, very much so. You know, it happened in the 70s with the oil crisis back then, and it drew a lot of interest to smaller combustion cars as they were at the time. And the same effect's happening now, where the interest in EVs is very much higher. There are a lot of people who are living on low fixed incomes who, when they drive by a gas station and they see the price going up, it means they've got to make a compromise on their shopping that week to afford it. And the great thing about electric fuel is that the price is regulated. So it's predictable, it's planned, you don't get the volatility. And the absolute cost, as you know, Mark, is incredibly low to fill up an EV.
I'm extremely lucky. I have home charging. Yeah. So I would say 98% of my charging is home. Sometimes I take a trip and go somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm paying, I think, 3.4 cents per kilowatt overnight. This is basically fuel for free.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
And so that's the help of the government Toronto Hydro looking and trying to settle off the grid. So it is crazy. Listen, we still don't have vehicles for those people. As a vehicle is still costing $60,000. And by the way, not just an electric vehicle, gasoline vehicles too, right?
Sure. Well, that's if you're buying new. But what is really important is there's a huge used EV market now. There are a lot of vehicles coming off lease. Like we're in 2026 now, 4 years of 2022. There are a whole bunch of EVs that came to the market, and they're now coming into the used market. So there are really affordable EVs that are good quality products.
I will tell you that
around the 20 to 30,000 mark, and you can immediately start getting benefit from $8 to fill up your electric
very helpful.
fuel
And
tank.
you're right.
So,
if we were a couple of years ago when we were talking, you couldn't get an EV.
Right.
They weren't on the lot.
Yeah.
They're unavailable, and that was the complaint. That's now gone.
Yeah.
And you're right. We bought a Ioniq 5.
Oh yeah.
Which we use in our fleet, and I picked it up in Montreal, and we've been very happy with it.
Yeah.
And it came at a fairly reasonable price, and no problem at all. So
yeah.
And we had a Model 3 that we wanted to get a Model Y, and we sold the Model 3. We swapped them for the Model Y, and not swap, but there was at the same place, so it worked out quite well. It's a good point what you're saying.
That's really great. But I mean, let me ask you, Mark. You're dealing at the front end of a lot of installations of charging infrastructure. Mm-hmm. How are you finding the market? It's been a volatile year for the EV industry as well, and
I think it's been a volatile year. Every industry entirely.
Right.
We're very disrupted by what's going on with our neighbors to the south.
Yeah.
Particularly, and this is the automotive industry. It's really having a little bit of a hard time.
Yeah.
But I think this uncertainty in the economy is tough for everybody. If you're uncertain, you'll hold off.
Right.
When you hold off, things stop.
Yeah.
So I would say that I'm not trying to say that it's been a bit of a quieter year for us. We're managing. We've been in business almost 40 years, so we have a kind of managed these ebbs and flows.
You way around it pretty well.
We try, but I would like to be much busier, and it's starting to come back. I'll tell you what's helped in terms of the EVs and stuff. We have this $5,000 incentive for certain vehicles that came back. People were waiting, because we had the $5,000 incentive. Then the government changed, and it took a while. And everybody was pretty sure that the new government would bring it back, and it did come back. So that helped. And believe it or not, the announcement of Chinese vehicles, although this is, I think, a very small number of vehicles at the moment and very select, it gets in people's mind.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing questions about this when I go to the door.
Well, it's everywhere in the media. There's so much speculation about what vehicles are we going to get. And I interviewed the managing director of Volvo Car Canada yesterday, Matt Good.
Yeah, Matt, I know Matt very well.
And yeah, of course, yeah. And Matt was saying as soon as the rebates were announced, there was almost an immediate uptick in sales of their EX30, their compact electric SUV. And it's just a reminder that these policies really do make a big difference in helping, giving people the confidence.
And how many Canadian jobs is... Matt has an office here in Canada because I put a charger in it.
Right.
We put a DC fast charger in, so I know those are Canadian jobs. It's busy there. You can't find one spot to park at the head office.
Well, this is the thing about the show we're at, the EV Charging Expo. There's an industry here. There's an economy here. The business is being done. Jobs are being created. For every deal where there's a charger being sold or an EV being adopted into a fleet, there's a job for an electrical worker putting in power and putting in charging there. And this new industry needs nurturing and supporting because it's going to be a significant part of the economy as our transport gets electrified. Right now, we've only got about 2% of the entire Canadian fleet is electric. So we're still at the tiny, tiny end of the market in terms of the size of it. So
this is by a fluke. I don't always look at what we're doing, but this is an interesting entrance to the market. This Kia at a relatively lower price. These are similar to the type of vehicle that we need for our fleet. I haven't found
is that right?
It needs to be low. We needed this lower height when we were using the Mercedes Metras. I haven't talked to them yet. I needed a little longer, just a tiny bit longer.
Increase the wheelbase.
So
this is a Kia GV5. Right? It's a Canadian debut.
Some flexibility, right?
Yeah, and it's a great product. And as you say, there's nothing in Canada in this segment right now. And so
how many of this type of vehicle do you forget the electric? How do you see on the road? There's tons of these vehicles on the road.
Absolutely.
So now, it was fine for the big vans and the Sprinters and everything, but not everybody needs a Sprinter.
Yeah. So. But, you think about contractors, the independent business people. You get one of these, you've got predictable fuel costs, you've got minimal maintenance. It's off the road for the minimum amount of time because the maintenance is so little. These are great workhorses.
And fuel depends on what business you're in. For us, our trucks go and they stay kind of a long time. And fuel is it's not a massive part of our business. But some businesses where the truck is moving and moving and moving, fuel becomes a very important part of it. And maintenance, right? You'd be surprised how much time we spend with the trucks in and out of the shop getting just general stuff that needs to be done. We have to have a spare truck just because there's no other way to get the truck.
Is that right?
If I could minimize that a little bit more, every time a truck gets off, it's a little challenging. The guy's tools are here and there. So
wow. So if you can get, so if you can get
that would work.
Save you a spare truck. That's that's a little bit.
If I can be a tiny bit self-serving, because I didn't plan it this way.
We're at the Signature
Electric booth. What else could
Mark,
you want?
You have got a very interesting structure, which I've seen for the first time at your booth. Can you tell me what this black box is all about?
Yeah, let's walk. I didn't intend for this to be an advertising.
Well, it just worked out that way, didn't it?
Out. But what I want to talk about is we're at the EV and Charging Expo. I think this is an electric vehicle.
Of course.
This is a vehicle that gets people around, and it's got a battery in it. And I haven't seen a bike or a scooter here in 4 years.
Right.
And and I think it's an important part of something that I think we're at an interesting edge now. These bikes feel like the cars did 10 years ago. Cars coming, no charging. Right. How are we going to work it out? Yeah. And you didn't. We have these.
Well, there's a huge number of these bikes on the road. The Uber Eats of the world, the DoorDash, and that kind of thing.
Which is a service that you want.
Absolutely. And when people are delivering like a small meal, we don't want them driving a big SUV to deliver it to our house.
And they won't anyways, because it's a marginal business and they need to keep it as cheap as they can.
Right.
But the question is, did you ever ask yourself, what is that guy doing with the battery?
Right.
I don't think if you live in Front and Spadina downtown, I don't think the Uber Eat guys, he lives in your building.
Right.
He lives somewhere else. What's he doing with the battery and the bike, and how's he getting around? How's he keeping it charged? I think if you actually found out what was happening, you'd be scared.
Wow. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They don't have a lot of options. And also I think we've almost pretty much solved the volatility of the cars catching on fire. It doesn't really happen very often.
Yeah,
that
it's
is
a minimal
not the
thing.
that is
No.
not the same thing with these batteries.
Well, the technology is less well regulated in e-bikes, if at all.
and you
that's
handle the
something-
battery.
Yeah.
So we don't handle the battery in our cars.
Right.
So once they're protected, they're protected. But here, you're taking the battery in and out, you're handling it, it could drop. And these are truly, if you just take to the fire department, these are a actual problem they're having.
Yeah.
So this is a storage and charging. So you can come here, open up one of the cabinets, put it in and charge. It's secure. What was interesting is
And you'd leave it overnight charging?
no, you don't need to. It only need a few hours. So
Right, okay.
actually, interestingly, so we've had a lot of cities and towns come by, and I didn't know what would interest them. Maybe at City Hall, maybe on a bike path. I don't know where they thought it would be a good idea. You know where they think it's a good idea? It's the library. People are biking to the library, and the people in the library do not want them to bring that battery inside the library.
How interesting.
And they're used to coming in and charging their phones and laptops, and they stay for a couple of hours, whether they're taking part of an activity or what have you. And the libraries are reaching out to the cities to say, we have this problem. What would you like me to do? And they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
This is what to do. So they want to put these just out in front of the library. So it serves that as
That's
well.
smart.
But afterwards, when the library's closed, this is still available.
Still works.
So if you still wanted to use it, you could. And depending on where the library was, it might be in an area where the delivery drivers are. Right now, delivery drivers are on the bikes are covering not just downtown. They're coming way up towards Midtown to Eglinton. Right? You're not cars until you start to hit upper North York.
Yeah.
So
Good range.
Right. So we need to find a variety of places. So that's what this is about. We're going to be working with Power Shelter to roll these out across Canada.
Awesome. Great. Well, I look forward to seeing them in my neighborhood.
Let's hope, right? I don't know what ward you're in. We'll have to find out who your counselor is.
Okay.
There. So we had some of the politicians here yesterday and some of the media.
Indeed.
as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your moment to kind of
Well,
something you want to talk about. There was some amazing announcements yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, well, one thing I'd like to highlight is what Napa Next Drive is doing. You know, we were talking about there being now a much bigger resale market. of
Next
electric.
Drive.
Napa is a
Yes.
auto repair shop, which a lot of people will use when the vehicle's out of warranty. They will go to like their local auto shop, and a lot of these are franchises under Napa.
Yeah.
Next Drive, and Napa has a electric certification program for these shops called Next Drive. What that means is that these shops are certified to work on electric vehicles. So if you have got to use the electric vehicle that's a little bit older, you don't want to have it maintained at a main dealer, but you want to go to your local shop, a Next Drive certified shop will do it for you. And this is a really important part of the ecosystem that we need to see coming in to help maintain and service the long tail of what we're going to have of used EVs operating on the market.
Imagine 2 years ago if I'd had said to you, wouldn't it be nice if we had some independent places working on these cars? You go, Mark, I don't know what you're talking about.
it's not happening.
Let's just get cars. So I know that, frankly speaking, I have a Tesla.
Yeah.
And I found an independent place to work on it the last time. I had a trouble with
Well,
one of the alarms.
these guys look after mine now, really good. And here they've got a Chevy Volt on the on the ramp here, but they've also got an electric. The electric battery has been dropped out of the Volt, and they're doing demonstrations of how they go about working on that battery. And this demonstration is happening here live at the EV Charging Expo. They're not working on it right at this moment, but what they're doing is they're demystifying this mysterious battery thing, and they're showing this is how we work on it. It is serviceable, and with the right qualified technicians, we can keep these things going perfectly well when they do require that level of service.
Perfect. I saw them with protective gear and everything.
Exactly,
And
yeah.
everybody is very curious about this. So I'm glad that you brought this kind of thing something a little different, right?
Yeah. But you start seeing the parts of the EV ecosystem are filling in all around. You know, there's
just
lots
like
of
we
new
like it
partners
would have
coming
for gasoline vehicles, right?
Yeah.
You know, it was a real specialty. I think when gasoline vehicles first arrived, I suppose servicing them was a very unique thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But once knowledge gets passed on, then it becomes a lot more. It gets the knowledge gets embedded in our society once it becomes a bit more mainstream. So, yeah.
So this announcement from Toronto Hydro, which made the news this morning,
Yeah.
I thought it's an interesting signal.
Yeah.
I know that we're involved in a variety of groups, and one of the things they're trying to do is get most of the bigger chargers come at 480 volts.
Yeah.
And we're normally here in Canada at 600,
600,
as
yeah.
opposed to the US, which is 480.
Yeah, and all of the charging systems are 480, and so there's this extra cost that if you're deploying historically, if you've been deploying charging infrastructure, you've had to pay for the cost of the step down to 480 volts.
So now the Toronto Hydro is going to be providing 480 volts straight off the street for you.
Yeah.
This is something we've been asking for a really long time. This tells me, and then sometimes I think, hey, you're asking for these things. They're never going to do this. And I think, well, you're listening to us.
Oh, they really are. Yeah.
I'm amazed how much of when the industry goes to the government and asks for certain things, I'm amazed how many times the answers lately has been, yes, we can help with this. And it seems reasonable. Help with we're still, working on what's happening in the multi-res and the condos, but they are, they're trying.
It's a big move by Toronto Hydro, and it shows the seriousness with which they view the EV transition. So, yeah.
And nice of you to give them a place to
well, they're
do
partners. They're supporting the event. So we're very grateful for our partnership with them.
Perfect.
And we're very grateful for you being involved in the show, Mark, as ever.
Yeah.
And being a sponsor and partner. So,
really
it really means a lot. Yeah, 4 years in now. So.
Okay, the summer weather is almost coming. I haven't had the car out yet, but I telling you that I haven't forgotten. I'm always looking for somebody to come along for.
I would really enjoy a ride as a passenger here in
Okay, the exact opposite. The exact opposite of.
Oh, there's room for classic cars.
Oh,
so,
I don't have it on the road that much. It's a bit of a toy. So
yeah.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and thanks for continuing to do this. I know this is a lot of work. It's not easy. I know that we'll basically have this closed. A week will go by, and you'll be calling me to talk about when are we doing it next year, and is this date going to work for you?
Yeah.
So I know it takes a lot of planning, and I think it's come together very nicely, even in a tough time. Keep doing this. I'm looking forward to our 5th annual walk around.
Likewise. Thanks again, Mark. Cheers.